This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27 here on our Monday. I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. A busy night, so let's get to our first top stories before we get into the show this morning. Starting with the violence here in the Circle City. We've been following more violence over the weekend, including a shooting near the downtown canal. This happened in the overnight hours near the Colts play space. We are learning new details on what happened here from Metro Police, but it's an active scene. Our Alyssa Donovan is there talking with police, getting more information. We are learning that one person is in critical condition, so we'll continue to update you throughout the morning as we get more information. Another story we are following from over the weekend has to do with teens in a car going into a pond, and we know that a teenage girl is now dead, a boy fighting for his life. We're going to be learning a little bit more as well about the IMPD officer who first arrived at the scene and risked his own life to save these teens. He's a swimmer, and this is the first time he's had to put those skills to use in a situation like this. So thankful for his help there for the teens that are involved in this crash. And we're learning more about what led up to the car going into the pond this morning that happened on the southeast side. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by from home. Todd, it was kind of a rainy, a little bit muggy weekend in the Circle City. What can we expect as we start this brand new work week?
You know, more of the same here. Lauren, you're right. The humidity, as we talked about on Friday, was going to come way up over the weekend. Saturday, some heavy rainfall, not as much in the way of rainfall yesterday. And we're going to kind of carry that spotty storm chance over into the forecast for the day today. There are some storms this morning down in the Bloomington and Bedford area as you look in the center of your screen on Storm Team 6 radar. But look at some of those temperatures here at 4:28 this morning. 75 right now in Bloomington, 69 in Kokomo, Indianapolis at 72. So it's a really really warm start for us. Highs today, right around 90 degrees. Skies will be partly sunny, and then especially this afternoon, Lauren, during the peak heating of the day, we'll start to flare up additional thunderstorms. They should be on a spotty basis, and we'll talk more about those for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, coming up at our 6 o'clock hour, we're helping you rebound from this pandemic. And one group we're looking at are students who are recent grads and they're preparing for college, or maybe they're preparing for life in the adult world. So we're going to be talking with a financial expert about some really easy tips for your recent grad, what they can do to kind of start off on the right foot. These are basic things that you can do right now this summer before we start a new school year. So we'll have that story plus news, weather, and traffic coming right up here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Gunfire in a downtown hotspot leaves one young person fighting for their life. Breaking this morning, the latest on the round of violence here in the Circle City.
Okay, we have 2 IMPD officers in the water. A third is assisting at the shore.
A scary scene on the city's southeast side. A car full of teens plunges into a pond. Now at 4:30, we'll hear from the IMPD officer credited for pulling 2 of the teens to shore. And
they said they was going to call the police where they wanted to call the police on us.
an Indianapolis Colts player finds himself in the middle of a national discussion on racial profiling. This morning, hear from the linebacker who says he was asked to leave a restaurant because he's black. We'll have those top stories in just a minute, but first here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is joining us from home this morning. Todd, good morning to you. Happy Monday. What can we expect as people head out the door?
Yeah, Lauren, good morning to you as well. More of the same from the weekend. We're just carrying that over into this Monday, and that's a lot of heat, and it's a lot of humidity, and the chance of some storms. And we do have some storms out there already on Storm Team 6 radar in southern locations. And you can see those near the Bloomington area down towards Bedford, and actually quite a bit of lightning with that cell. Let me pause this for you, and we can zoom in a little bit closer, just north of Bedford there. Extremely heavy rain and really a tremendous amount of lightning over a small area of space near Olytic, north of Bedford, north of US 50, and this is going to be sliding south across US 50. May miss the center of Bedford, but eastern Lawrence County going to have a pretty strong storm here over the course of the next 15 to 30 minutes. Outside of that, it's pretty quiet this morning, but there's more storms to the north near Minneapolis. Minneapolis, and all this has to work its way through over the coming days. These temperatures really, really warm, 75 in Bloomington right now. Highs today will be near 90 degrees. There's actually better storm chances as the day progresses. I know we have that one little storm right now near Bedford, but better storm chances this afternoon, Lauren. More on that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is I-465 and Man Road. You can see traffic here is moving along up to speed, pretty quiet there on the southwest side this morning. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. Let's take a different live look right now. This one is I-69 near State Road 37. We will get to that camera in just a moment, but we do want to take a live look and a reminder for you here on I-70. The westbound lanes are closed between the downtown area at the south split all the way over to 465 on the west side near Ronald Reagan Parkway. You'll want to leave some extra time this morning as you kick off your work week because you'll need to take a detour route. We do want you to know that the Meridian Street local exit here near the downtown area remains open, but you will not be able to continue to go westbound on the interstate. So just some things to keep in mind this morning. We do want to get right to breaking news, though. One person is fighting for their life following a round of gunfire in downtown Indianapolis. The shooting happened a little after 2 this morning on West Walnut Street near the Colts Place space on the canal. This morning, the details about what exactly happened are still limited, but we're told the victim is a juvenile. Our Alyssa Donovan is at the scene right now working to learn what led up to that gunfire. She'll be live and coming up at the top of the hour. We'll get more details from her. Also new from overnight, 2 people are recovering after a shooting on the city's west side. Police say that the shooting happened around 11:45 Sunday night near 17th and Somerset Avenue. That's just west of 16th and Tibbs. Victims tell police that they were inside their home when bullets came through the walls. According to officers, the victims believe the shooting was a drive-by, but they are not cooperating with that investigation.
Affirmative. We have 1 car in the water, total 4 patients. 2 are trapped in the vehicle, 2 are out on the bank.
This morning, a teenage girl is dead and a teenage boy is fighting for his life after a car they were riding in went off the road into a pond. That crash happened Saturday evening on the city's southeast side. IMPD officer Jared Allen was one of the first to respond to the scene, where witnesses told him there were still 2 people trapped in that car. Allen, who is a 3-year veteran with the department, was a collegiate swimmer and he went through water rescue training in the police academy. But this was the first time he put his skills to use.
I'm 6'6", so I use my length to an advantage. I put my feet down, finally was able to find the top of the car. After that, I started doing some controlled dives down, was able to find some openings and start reaching around and seeing if I could find the kids.
Well, Officer Allen had both teens out of the car within minutes of getting to the scene. Investigators say the 17-year-old driver and another 16-year-old passenger are in good condition. Witnesses did report seeing the car traveling at a high rate of speed on Fry Road before hitting a tree and then going into a pond. IMPD is still investigating why the car left the road. In a Facebook post, Franklin Central High School confirms all of the teens involved went to the school. In a post, school officials say the tragic loss of such a beloved member of our school community will undoubtedly lead to the feelings and questions that we're not used to encountering. It is completely understandable to have feelings of sadness, disbelief, and even anger. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be emotional. Together, we will work through this. At 4:35 this morning, a Kokomo woman is taking legal action after she says corrections officers at the Howard County Jail sexually assaulted her. Shayna Turner was an inmate at the jail in February, and she says she was sexually assaulted on 2 occasions by 2 different corrections officers. Shayna and her attorney have filed a tort claim against the Howard County Sheriff's Office and jail, putting them on notice of the intent to sue for negligence.
I just don't feel like it's right what they did, and I'm sure this happens at plenty of jails, and a lot of people don't say anything, probably because they look at it as, oh, well, I'm the inmate and they're the correctional officer. They're not going to believe me.
Shayna reported the allegations to the sheriff's office. In early March, the sheriff announced 6 employees were terminated at the jail following an internal investigation into, quote, allegations of improper activity with inmates that violated the department's policies. 2 incidents were referred to the prosecutor's office, but no charges were filed. Shayna's attorney says at least one of the officers who touched Shayna was among the 6 who were fired. Sheriff Jerry Asher had no comment about Shayna's claims. At 4:36, Colts linebacker Darius Leonard finds himself right in the middle of a national discussion on racial profiling. Leonard says he was kicked out of a Florence, South Carolina Chipotle, claiming he was a victim of discrimination. Leonard says his group was finishing up when they were asked to leave by the manager. Leonard says that he and his group, 3 black men and a biracial woman, were simply eating and having a casual conversation, but a white customer allegedly felt threatened and told a manager that Leonard and his companions were abusing him and talking trash. Leonard calls that a flat-out lie.
That's what being black in America is right now. You know, us not even doing anything wrong, going out to eat with your family, just trying to spend a little bit of quality time, and can't enjoy eating anymore.
Well, Chipotle suspended the manager involved in that incident. This morning, Chipotle's chairman and CEO released a statement saying the company has a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination of any kind. The Colts released a statement saying, quote, Darius's experience demonstrates the struggle so many black Africans and people of color face every day. RTV6 is hosting a virtual town hall covering the history of racial injustice and how we got to where we are today. Panelists will discuss where we are right now and how to move forward and how to deal with interactions with law enforcement. You can watch this conversation on race this Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on RTV6. This morning, the trial for a man accused in a gruesome murder in southern Indiana could be facing a new round of challenges. Joseph Oberhansley is accused of killing and mutilating his ex-girlfriend in Jeffersonville back in 2014. His trial is set to start on September 8th in Clark County. However, a pool of jurors is supposed to come from St. Joseph County. Prosecutors there are worried that there will not be enough jurors because of another high-profile case the week before. Oberhansley's trial was supposed to start in August of 2019, but a mistrial was called on the first day. In May, Oberhansley was ordered to the state mental hospital in Logansport after being found incompetent to stand trial. It is 4:38. Want to turn now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its impact on Hoosiers. On Sunday, state health officials reported 3 new coronavirus deaths. Since the pandemic began, more than 2,400 Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. The state also reported more than 360 new cases. That brings the number of total infected Hoosiers to nearly 45,000. Some daycare providers across central Indiana are still closed due to the pandemic, but as they prepare to reopen, they are receiving some help in the form of thousands of dollars in grant money. Recently, St. Mary's Child Center received $20,000 from the Come Back Stronger Fund. The grant program is supported by Early Learning Indiana and the Lilly Endowment. So far, more than 550 child care providers in Indiana have received grants totaling $7.6 million. At St. Mary's, which is located downtown, they are using money to be able to help protect staff members and the children once they return.
We serve vulnerable children. About 93% come from poverty. So 56% of like the 200 kids that come, we raise full scholarships for. So we never have anything extra. And so now we're looking at getting no-touch thermometers, getting all kinds of the masks, getting everything that we need to have everything be safe and good for everyone, but it's a lot.
They also plan to use the money to add additional staff helping with the daily screenings process and plan to add dividers inside their office area. St. Mary's Child Center plans to reopen on August 3rd. At 4:40, if you plan to play the Hoosier Lottery and you bought your ticket on the city's northeast side, you could be a lot richer this morning. The lottery says a ticket worth $3.2 million was sold at the get-go on Oakland Road on Saturday. Here are the winning numbers: 2, 5, 10, 26, 34, 36. The odds of hitting the Hoosier Lottery jackpot are 1 in 9.3 million. All eyes will be on the Supreme Court in the coming days. Just after the break, the case is expected to receive a decision this week. Todd.
And Lauren, it's an active morning on radar down across the southern portions of central Indiana, especially Lawrence County right now. Pretty good thunderstorm moving just east of Bedford, sliding off towards the south. A few more showers near Bloomington, and we're going to continue to have showers and storms throughout the day. It's going to be a hot day and a muggy one as well. We'll talk all about it for you coming up as Good Morning Indiana continues here on this Monday morning. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
Welcome back. It's 4:44. President Trump is pushing back on a bombshell report accusing Russia of offering bounties to the Taliban to kill American soldiers in Afghanistan. ABC's Alex Perche reports the president says he was never briefed on the matter, and members of Congress are now pushing for answers on whether that's true.
Overnight, President Trump pushing back on a bombshell New York Times report accusing Russia of offering bounties on U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. That same report saying the president was briefed on the findings. Trump responded in a tweet that Intel told him they did not find this info credible and therefore did not report it to me or Vice President Pence. That report says Russian intelligence officers offered to pay the Taliban to kill American troops amid peace talks to end America's longest war. A military official confirmed the report to ABC News, but did not know if the president had been briefed. The political fallout has been swift.
If it is true, underline the word if, that they are paying surrogates to kill Americans, this is one of the most serious matters, I think, that has arisen in the Trump administration.
Republican Representative Liz Cheney tweeting, if the report is true, why wasn't the president or VP briefed? Who did know and when? And what's been the response?
This is as bad as it gets.
And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the president's response totally outrageous.
You would think that the minute the president heard of it, he would want to know more instead of denying that he knew anything.
Pelosi saying top congressional leaders were not aware of the report, but would be investigating to determine if the president was briefed. Last year, 23 U.S. troops died in Afghanistan, but whether any were targeted by Taliban fighters paid by Russian operatives is not known, according to military sources. Still, this is new fuel for Trump's 2020 challenger, Joe Biden.
Donald Trump has continued his embarrassing campaign of deference and debasing himself before Vladimir Putin.
A senior administration official told the Associated Press that the White House plans to brief select members of Congress about the issue later today. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Later today, the Supreme Court will start making decisions on several high-profile cases. Among the decisions, could changes to the separation of church and state happen? This case is out of Montana, which bans in its constitution public aid to religious schools. Similar bans exist in 38 states. The Supreme Court ruling could allow students in religious schools the ability to seek private scholarships funded through the state income tax credits. The next expected case could bring changes to abortion rights. The case out of Louisiana challenges a law saying abortion providers must have admitting privileges in hospitals. Abortion rights supporters say this will close clinics because not all providers work with hospitals. The third expected case is out of Colorado. It asks if state electors to the Electoral College vote for whomever they want. Per tradition, these electors vote for presidential candidates with the most votes in the state, but some say that it doesn't have to be the case. Finally, does President Trump need to turn over his tax returns when subpoenaed? It could open the president up to new controversy prior to the election. Well, this month marked 4 years since 49 lives were taken when a man walked into Pulse nightclub and opened fire. And now there's a push to make that tragic site in Orlando a national memorial. Friday, the U.S. House unanimously passed a bill that would do just that. The two Florida representatives who introduced the bill said this is just one way to honor people who lost their lives there, along with the survivors, first responders, and the community who mourn the tragedy. There is currently no Senate companion bill. Time right now is 4:48. Let's check in with Todd and see what we can expect as we head out the door this Monday. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. More of the same weather from the weekend carrying over into this Monday. Not only Monday, but really the next couple days as well, as we continue to deal with heat, humidity, and the chance of storms. Here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar this morning, and you can see we're dealing with some thunderstorms that have really just flared up over the past I would say half hour to 45 minutes here down to the south. No lightning in and around Bloomington or Spencer, but some locally heavy downpours. And then as we slide further down to the south, this is where we start to pick up a little bit of lightning. And this carries over into the eastern portion of Lawrence County. I'll zoom in a little bit closer to all this lightning and pinpoint some of your locations. If you're watching us this morning, just to the east of Bedford, that really extremely heavy rainfall along US 50 there as you work your way over over into portions of Jackson County. So let that storm system pass before you get on the roads if you live down there. But it's one little thin band of rain that stretches all the way with a front down through parts of Kentucky. Otherwise, central Indiana pretty dry this morning. What's going to happen is during the peak heating of the day, we're going to see these isolated storms start to flare up. And here we go, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty spotty. I'll advance it for you. Notice they become a little more numerous as the evening progresses. But I wouldn't cancel plans. Just know that rain is in the forecast, but everything's going to be pretty spotty. And then storm chances will continue, it looks like, over into the overnight hours, and then they'll flare up once again tomorrow during the peak heating of the day. And really, this entire week is going to feature storm chances in the forecast. I think they do diminish a little bit as far as coverage goes as we get closer to the holiday weekend. But today, you notice the storm chance goes from about 10% this morning to about 50 to 60% throughout the afternoon and evening hours. We're in the 70s right now in all locations except for Crawfordsville and Connorsville, which are in the upper 60s. Bloomington 74. Indy's at 72, as is Muncie, and 71 is the current temperature in Peru. Back up to highs today, right around 90 degrees. There'll be a lot of hazy sunshine mixed in between these thunderstorms, so it's not probably as overcast as it was yesterday, but we'll have those storms off and on throughout the day. And then overnight tonight, temperatures will be in the 70s going forward in this forecast. Tomorrow, a little cooler with probably a little more in the way of cloud cover, but still very, very muggy and still that storm chance. And here is your 7-day planning forecast. As we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the holiday weekend, it's about a 20% chance of storms each day, so they'll be very, very spotty. Definitely better storm chances here at the start of the week, and you notice temperatures remaining at or above normal straight across the board with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door to start your work week. Here's a live look up in Fishers, I-69, a look near State Road 37, where everything's traveling up to speed, both northbound and southbound. We'll keep you updated on any major crashes or delays to slow down your Monday morning drive. Well, the NBA is ready to restart. The league has released the schedule for when the season resumes this summer. Here are the Pacers' 8 games. They tip off on Saturday, August 1st against Philadelphia 76ers. Blue and Gold go on to play the Wizards, Magic, Suns, Lakers, Heat, Rockets, and then the Heat again on August 14th in the final matchup of the regular season. All games will be played at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Orlando. This morning, new research connects repetitive head impacts and later in life depression. The study finds as trauma is increased, so did depressive symptoms. Tests of memory, learning, processing speed, and reaction time also revealed a similar pattern between head trauma and cognitive function later in life. Researchers say this doesn't mean that all people with repetitive hits to the head will develop problems with cognitive functioning and depression, but it proves that exposure plays an important role in the development of those problems. A woman entering to win a dream home is getting quite the surprise this morning how her new home has a connection to her childhood. Plus, it wouldn't be summer without the thrills of an amusement park. Keep watching Good Morning Indiana for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Hollywood and Splashin' Safari. The time right now is 4:52. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Each year to raise money for cancer research, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital has a Dream Home giveaway. This morning, it really is a dream for the winner in Billings, Montana. Out of 4,500 tickets, number 250 was drawn. The winning ticket belonged to Janet Sanchez. Janet says she bought tickets for St. Jude's Dream Home in the past, but when she realized the home was her childhood home, she knew she had to try to win the house.
First time I'm here alone, I'll walk around and just have memories of being here. I can't wait to bring my siblings here and have them share stories with me because they were older than I was. Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream home.
Well, this year's Dream Home contest raised more than $447,000 for St. Jude. It's a pretty cool story there. All right, let's check it back in with Todd and see what we can expect this morning. Todd, we do have some storms out there on the radar right now.
Yeah, they're only in southern locations, but if you live in the Bloomington area back towards Spencer, now picking up a little bit of lightning with these cells. And as we slide down a little further to the south into the Bedford area, there's a pretty good little cell of storms just now moving across the county line. But these are all diving down to the south. So that is the good news. They should be out of the area pretty quickly. The bad news is more storms are going to fire up throughout the course of the day today. I would have the umbrella handy. We'll talk about today's storms and look ahead to what will be a stormy week as we head into the 4th of July coming up as Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:57. We'll see you in just a few minutes.